If you prioritize your own learning, you are adding to your own growth. You are committing to the results that you dream of, that you want, that you desire. It starts with your own commitment towards putting your time where the growth lies for you. So let us start looking at how we spend time today. I would encourage you to open your calendar if you maintain one, and if you don't, please start maintaining one, because it really tells you where the time goes. If I were to ask you, where were you last week same time? I'm sure you would struggle to remember. You won't be able to recollect where you were and what were you doing. Was that worth your time or not? Very difficult questions to answer because it was a week back. When it was just a week back, if I were to even ask you to look at yesterday and tell me how many hours did you productively utilize, until you really have a calendar in place, there is no way you can answer that question either. So a calendar doesn't just help you plan the days to come, it also helps you to analyze and evaluate the days that have gone by. So a good practice for any leader who wants to get to a level 5 leadership, as we call it, the level of absolute utmost respect, are people who value their time more than they value anything else, including money. Time is everything. So let us start bringing in the right practices to manage time. It starts with maintaining your calendar. Now, when you have one in place, I would encourage you to block whatever time you're comfortable blocking every single day, or a longer time duration for every weekend or 1 or 2 days in a week. That's the only flexibility I would like to offer to you. If you cannot manage 30 minutes every day, then block 2 hours twice a week. It could be a weekend, it could be a weekday. I would leave that to you. But that's the minimum time required for us to invest in our own learning and our own growth. In this time, you've got to bake in both self-learning and subject matter expertise. So you've got to create that balance depending upon the stage of career that you are in, depending upon how many years have you spent so far in your field. So if you've just begun, you've got to spend a lot more time on self-learning. And the subject matter learning will slowly pick up because the expectations are not so high from you. You've just started your career. So people know that you have to go through the learning curve before they expect results from you. This is a great time to focus on what you're already aware of as your weaknesses. As you go ahead and grow in this career, you realize that somewhere in the middle, around 3 years to 5 to 7 years, is when your subject matter expertise have to be as good as they can be. This is when you've got to focus more on your subject. Learn that better, be a visionary, see what the future will entail, and see if you can get those skills, upskill yourself to embrace the future. And self-learning can probably take 30% of your time if 70% is needed for the subject matter expertise. And when you grow even more mature in your career, when you are at a level of senior management, that is the place where you can then take a call on what requires more attention from you. If at that point you feel that all this while I've only been working on getting my subject right and becoming an expert at it, this is the time when I really need to look at myself in the mirror and correct a few things I'm not okay with about myself, that's what you've got to go for. Or you could go to another extreme here and say that, okay, I have really been aware of what has been lacking and I've consciously worked on myself all these years. This is when I've got to go deeper and beyond my comfort zone. I have run the company really well, but whatever was happening in the environment in the last 5 years might not be the same environment for the next 5. How do I adapt to the changes which might be in store for all of us, even at an industry level? So that's what your focus should be diverted towards if this is what comes to your mind at that point. So let us go back to the 3 resources and look at time as the first one to see what is it that you need to do justice to this resource and get the maximum out of it. Here is an activity I want to leave you with. Go back to the last 1 week and see for how many hours did you really do some productive work. And by productive, I mean which was led towards your role, your business, or your career. How much time did you spend in being productive at work? How much time did you spend in your own learning, whether self-learning or subject matter expertise? Please make a note of that, and from here on, start creating a log and give yourself that 5 minutes of self-reflection every end of the week to answer the same 2 questions. Till such time, it becomes a part of your thinking process when you automatically know, even on that particular weekday, whether you are spending productive time, whether it is meaningful investment of your time or not. This is going to take work and practice. Till then, we've got to collate data. And the best data is the data that you pick for yourself about your own self. If you don't have a calendar and you have no way to go back to the last 1 week to do this exercise, I would encourage you to start working on it today. From today onwards, start putting a calendar together, and the next week is when you may want to sit with these 2 questions and answer to yourself, how productive were you and how much time did you spend in your own learning? This is the only way we will totally, completely utilize a very important yet limited resource called time.